Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 25. I'm Gabe, and today we'll be confronting Professor Ginkgo, but let's do a quick refresher on why we're confronting her. In the last episode, you descended from the peak of Mount Paleo to Neo Outpost, where you had a final confrontation with the leader of Team Arc. Though you were able to defeat Psy-Cat for good, she revealed that Professor Ginkgo is studying a secret threat which lies dormant in the center of Paleon Bay and threatens all of the Pokemon in the region. You hop on to Psy-Cat's Leparcto and jet across the water. Jagged rocks and protective barriers limit your path as you travel north. Strong, wild Pokemon breach the waves around you. Dunkleovish, Leparcto, Caracosta, and Relicanth, along with a new Primal Pokemon. Yep, it's about time that we get to little Primal Lileep's evolution. Here's the thing about normal Credilly. I like it, even though I think objectively it looks a little dumb. Especially the pink doodads around its head. So I think we can make it look much cooler. Right off the bat, it's going to get much cooler fronds around its head. They just look sharper, plant-like, and just more interesting overall. Leaning into the primal nature, I wanted this to feel almost like a warrior's headdress or something. Next thing to change, this is an active predator, and I wanted those jaws to just be more intimidating. Let's get some jaws going on, like real jaws. You should be afraid that if you anger it, it could just chomp your arm clean off. And the third thing is a fairly small tweak. A lot of people, somewhat understandably, think that the pattern on top of Credilly's head are its eyes. So we're just going to modify the markings slightly so that it's just a little more obvious that the eyes are actually those glowing orbs inside the mouth. Just like that, our predatory sea lily Pokemon is all updated. This is Primal Credilly, the hungry lily Pokemon. This ravenous Pokemon hides among swaying sea plants waiting for a chance to strike. If it is discovered, Primal Credilly scurries across the seafloor with its root-like legs to attack. Researchers have even spotted it leaving the water to hunt. Its jaws and sharp leaves make it an effective predator, and its ability, which I'm now noticing I misspelled, surprise attack, whatever. This Pokemon always moves first during the first move of a battle, and I love that this thing looks like it could really mess you up, even though it's got like this soft pastel colors to it. Yeah, good stuff. Alright. You navigate the strong whirlpools and soon run into Professor Ginkgo in a little boat. She eyes you with caution.
There you are. I hear word that you helped take down Psy-Cat for good. I hope she didn't get to you with any of the lies she likes to spout. I know she thinks she's doing what's right, but she's always failed to see the big picture. Together, we used the might of a legendary Pokémon to revive all these fossil Pokémon. But a second legendary is here in the region too, and it demands to be studied also. Psy-Cat is too much of a coward to continue our work, and the other researchers don't need to be burdened with what I have to do next. Oh, you believe Psy-Cat, do you? You don't think I should continue? Well, it looks like I'll just have to stop you then.
Ginkgo leads with her fully evolved starter, which demolishes your own starter. After some effort, you knock it out, and she follows up with Primal Omastar, Whirlicon, Cortully, Rhinoseer, and the tiny rejected Fossage. After all that, you finally defeat Ginkgo, and she flees to the east. Your Pokemon worked very hard, and you find that 2 of them are ready to evolve. First up, your ugly little muddy boy, Set-a-Mutt. Now, if you recall, this is based on the evolution of whales, so let's get massive with this design. One thing to point out right away, I had this line designed long before Generation 9's Setitan was revealed, so any similarities are likely due to common theming. Our whale is going to have some legs, but be a bit too accustomed to the water by this point to walk around easily. Also, I wanted this design to retain some of that goopy, muddy, goober aesthetic of the previous form, so a little droopy mud and a big goofy smile do the trick. I juggled the color palette a bit to finally land on something that felt right. Oh, and as a last minute change, I ended up giving Setitan's colors to the shiny. Alright, say hello to Set-a-Mutt, the first whale Pokemon. This massive Pokemon is the closest relative to modern-day Setitan populations. Though Set-a-Mutt are quite cumbersome on land, they have become incredibly agile in the water. They retain Set-a-Mutt's eager nature and show affection to anyone who can look past their ugly appearance. Trainers should be careful not to be crushed by their emphatic hugs. And its ability is slippery, because they're all muddy and slick, and that raises the Pokemon's speed stat by 2 stages whenever it's hit by a water-type move. I think we did a pretty good job of landing on that elusive, Pokemon ugly cute that I was going for. You'll have to let me know if you think this design is on the cute or the gross side of the line. Oh, and actually, you know what? There is another ground type that needs some love. Yep, it looks like your sleepy little Slothump is ready to evolve too. Now, this line, as a reminder, is based on the Megatherium, or giant ground sloths, so we'll be maintaining that sloth-like look. Megatherium was a slow-moving but formidable opponent with its massive clawed hands. Because of this, we'll be introducing the fighting type. Now, instead of having it slash at opponents with its claws, which would be a little too similar to Therisli's, we'll have those claws curled in to create heavy, solid boxing glove hands. And to play into this boxing look, we're actually going to give it a slightly more humanoid, old-timey pugilist silhouette. Oh, and I was able to finish off that look with a little tuft of chest hair, a fancy mustache, and a cute little head curl. The colors, pretty straightforward, pulling most of them from Little Slothump and seeing where they landed best. And of course, the shiny are the mascot colors from the Best in Slot YouTube channel. It's got a little sloth. It's very cute. I mean, I had to do everything in my power not to add a little top hat to this design to match it. Alright, but let's take a look at Mitarium, the pugilist Pokemon. This Pokemon punches trees out of the ground when it cannot reach the leaves. Mitarium are usually incredibly slow, but can throw their heavy fists with alarming speed. They like to look after sleepy Slothump in the wild and can be observed covering them in sand for added camouflage. Its ability is Iron Fists, since it has those big old boxing glove hands, and that increases the damage of punching moves by 20%. And I love how it turned out. It's a perfect balance of tough but lovable. Oh, and with these new Pokemon added to the Dex, we've made some serious progress completing it. In fact, let's take a look at the Dex. There's a few empty spots sprinkled throughout, a decent gap for some legendaries, and plenty of space for whatever we add in any bonus videos before the end of the series. Oh, and be sure to let me know what of the remaining Pokemon designs you're most excited to see. I may give you a little heads up on when they'll be appearing. But seriously, we have done some good work on the Dex. And I just wanted to thank everyone who has been watching this series. I mean, it means the world to me that you've been following along while we populate the region with these ancient designs. But anyway, back to the task at hand. Professor Ginkgo has fled, and you make chase after her, soon arriving at the Quater Ocean Station. But we'll pick up from there in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode down in the comments below. A big thank you to my now wife, Erin, for being Professor Ginkgo. And I'll see you all in episode 26. Bye!